People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing. The Marxists, the anarchists, the looters, the agitators.
And now we'll start talking.
The Marxists.
It's episode 131 of Adine Blather. The podcast where we remind everyone that
the American people are tired of women.
And then we call it a day, you know? Every once in a while, you know, it's...
We hate all the Muslims because all of the Muslims are terrorists. We gotta hate the Muslims.
And also...
They're criminals and rapists.
Oh, that was a little loud, Bernie.
Of course.
He's always yelling, so...
I've always said that.
Yes, those aren't Bernie Sanders.
You got that from me.
Those are just recordings of Danae standing out on a street corner. But mostly, instead of
once again asking for your support.
Instead of standing on a street corner yelling at people about women and Muslims and asking for support, or just sitting in a chair in the cold looking like a grumpy old man.
That's also my MO.
Usually we're blathering yet evangelizing to our flock. We're preaching to the choir, that choir of
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
Yeah, I'm trying to dial in my stuff correctly here too, because I just got a new preamp on the microphone, and it was delivered.
Whatever that means.
Like 2 hours before the show started. So
I need a like a Duolingo lesson just for that specific soundbite so that I can actually memorize it.
I don't have it memorized.
Headstrong. Jerk.
Unless it's playing, then I can kind of go along with it.
That's what I'm saying. I just need it on my Duolingo once a day. Just run through it real quick.
Turn it into a song. That's how humans learn very effectively. That's why, the alphabet
heuristic
and all that kind of stuff. That's how you can remember a song for like 30 fucking years. You can't forget the lyrics to it, but you can't remember what you went into the grocery store for, You turn it into a song. There you go. Set it to the lyrics.
You got yourself a stew going. You got yourself a song going.
Yeah.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona,
Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut.
You poop in the bed?
Oh.
Delaware.
And, I see, that's the thing. I feel like I was going to say the entire idea of like, I can only... remember it while it's going.
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
I can't do it on its own. I was like, that feels like Duolingo, where it's like, I'm doing it while the app is going, and then as soon as I start getting in a conversation, I'm like, I can't remember anything. It's like, does Duolingo even work for me? I don't know.
Little Taco Bell.
Yeah. They're like, real funny. I'm like, see, I knew you could speak English. No.
Buenas noches.
They're like, I was using Duolingo. I just know how to say, real funny, and this sentence leading up to right now. I'm like, well, what else do you know?
See.
They say, okay? No.
That's a Family Guy joke.
Say.
Yeah.
Or an American Dad or something. I remember seeing that.
I just Family Guy.
Told that to Humberto.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Now that's the first goddamn thing you've ever said that made one piece of fucking sense.
So, I hope you guys are doing well.
Let's wrap.
Yeah, I'm also doing good because I work nonprofit, motherfuckers. So
yeah, so do I. But my nonprofit doesn't do a lot of good. What is your nonprofit up to, Natalie?
Oh, just passing bills.
See, I work nonprofit for free. Okay.
I work nonprofit as in I don't make a profit
actually
for the job that I do.
Lose money. I have to pay to be a member of the association so I could be on the board. But anyway, no, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Our bill is in the House of Representatives. Ever heard of it?
Is that
in the state of Washington?
when it becomes a bill and it's no longer a William? Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of get a little casual with it, a little loose,
Little
you know.
cash.
No, yeah, it's in the appropriations committee. It will be voted on or left to die by Friday. We'll know.
Oh.
So yeah, so hopefully, it moves through. I think that we just had a committee hearing on Saturday. The opposition very weak, I think, but that doesn't necessarily mean shit. There's a lot of Washington State has like a $13 billion budget shortfall for the biennium, these 2 years, partially because Jeff Bezos moved, and like things like that, which
how much does that even really cut into it though? Is it a lot?
I think that's like part of and that's like a talking point that people like to use too, to like try to make things friendlier for billionaires to stick around, and like for what taxes they pay. But he's not paying $13 billion in taxes. I'm not really sure where the shortfall came from, but anything that is costing money is, they're like, no, we don't want to do that. They just have a weak argument. This is for like setting standards for ranked choice voting. It's not to make anyone do anything. It's to literally set up a committee to say what are the standards going to be as people want to do it, because you can. Seattle is going to. And so their opposition, it's very, very weak, because part of it is like, it's going to be too complicated for these auditors. And they're like, yeah, what's a lot more complicated is if everywhere does it differently. That's way more complicated. That's why we're asking for statewide standards. But
yeah,
Secretary of State,
it gets you a good start so that you don't have to complicate things down the line.
Exactly. Secretary of State doesn't like ranked choice voting, so he pretty much just doesn't want anything to do with it. He sucks. He's a fail upwards kind of guy that was put in place. I think maybe we talked about this, but put in place by Jay Inslee, the former governor, like taken out of the Senate and moved to the Secretary of State's office because the Secretary of State like joined the Biden administration.
Yeah.
And so he got taken out as a legislator by the governor because he wouldn't let anything fucking get passed, like any of these transportation bills or anything like that. He's just a smug bitch is what he is, and we don't like him. I think his reasoning behind what he doesn't like about
don't quote me on that though.
Yeah, don't let that get out. But that he is kind of honestly kind of racist and ableist, saying that people can't figure out ranked choice voting if they speak English as a second language, and if you have a developmental or like an intellectual disability, that it would be too complicated, citing his mother, who's an immigrant from Japan, and his son, who has a developmental disability, as his sources. His son works for Boeing, so I think he can probably figure out ranked choice voting.
Well,
and his mother can have a ballot printed in fucking Japanese if she wants, which is a thing. That's actually a bill too.
Oh, you can't figure it out, but your son works as the head of quality control for Boeing. So
yeah. And for that, though, there is actually another bill that we support, my organization supports, is one to lower the threshold for ballots to be printed in different languages, because it has to be a certain amount of the population that needs it printed in that language before you can. That will just be the standard, and the threshold's too high. So there's some legislation.
Is it a
in
percentage
the House right now? It's like 5% or something, and they want to lower it to 2%. So then
I would have just guessed it would have been 1%, just throwing it at just as a guess. But
it's kind of dumb that you can't just like specify that when you're registering as a voter. Like, hey, I want it in this language.
Because it's
they can't understand you when you ask
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And they're like, well, you can just have someone translate it for you or whatever. And it's like, well, that's not great. But
it's America.
I hope
so. They just
that would be
shut the hell up, bitch.
Yeah, that they move on from
that's
there.
That's my problem with the Secretary of State, where it's like, if you think that English as a second language is a problem, then why aren't you like really backing a bill like that? At least that says let's get it printed in more languages. So he's just kind of the worst kind of guy. Like, he just really thinks he knows it all. Thinks he's super smart. He loves board games and Dungeons and Dragons in a bad way. He's like that kind of guy.
Oh God!
Like, yeah,
not like Elon Musk level, like poser, just like bad.
He's a smug nerd.
Oh,
you know, I think, kind of, and like I think he is a lot smarter than Elon Musk. I mean, who isn't? But truly, but yeah. So things are going good. This week is kind of a big week for us.
Steve
I think about
Hobbs. Okay.
When can we get rid of him?
He just won his re-election.
Oh, damn.
Like he just...
How long? Is it like 4 years?
4 years. And I know that there might be some... And he doesn't really have any challengers. He's a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
The Stranger, which is like a progressive, publication here in Seattle, endorsed him. He's like progressive in some ways. They're not... The Democratic Party is like not really...
He's not like in a primary... Like, well, does the... I don't even know. Do they do like the whole open primaries for those positions too? Right? It could be just Democrat versus Democrat, right?
Totally. Yeah. That's what all the voting in Washington is like an open...
So I wonder, because it
primary.
used to be you'd have that, the only other guy that you'd have as like a legit Republican challenger for Secretary of State. What was his name? Because he always had that $30 tabs thing that everyone loved, of course, for good reason, and it would get struck down by the judiciary, and like Washington Democrats were always against it and saying it's unconstitutional. And then even on a technicality, saying when he got it as a ballot initiative, when he wasn't running for Secretary of State, and it passed, and then they said, nope, it wasn't the ballot initiative was written incorrectly, and on a technicality, they threw it out, and it's like, God, you guys are not making yourselves look good right now. And it's like, I can't remember what that guy's name was, but I feel like he was the only like kind of Republican that had any sort of sway in that area. And it was because it had one smidgen of populist support, where it's like, and you know what? And it should, because it's Washington. We have high taxes, but things like all of those fees, licensing fees, property taxes, all these things are all regressive taxes. Like, they're not progressive taxes. They harm...
Washington has a very regressive tax
they harm
code.
People of lower incomes way more, especially like just because they're not called taxes, like renewing your license, renewing your tabs. It's insane.
So expensive.
Yeah. Let alone if you live where Natalie lives, that's crazy. Like spending $500 fucking to renew your tabs, like depending on what you drive over there in Seattle, mind blowing. And I understand it's like, well, they try to get less people to drive and blah blah blah, and it goes to like the WSDOT like is one of the biggest like Department of Transportation infrastructures in the United States because of the ferry system and all this. And it's like, but still, it's like, that doesn't matter. When someone is making minimum wage working at Krispy Kreme, they need to renew their tabs on their fucking 95 Camry, okay? And they can't afford that. Like, compared to, like,
someone
Jeff
with
Bezos
a Tesla that's sitting in their
the same amount of money
home office
renewing the tabs on his fucking Mercedes Benz. It's like, come on. It drives me crazy. But and it's like, the only way you could get around those sort of things is either with weirdly even more bureaucratic, like graduated marginal things, or like where it's like, well, you get a tax credit back if you make under a certain amount of money. You get credit back for renewing your tabs, because you make less than $100,000 a year, or blah 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 blah. It's like, no, what you should do, you should make it cheap for everyone, even if it's cheap for rich people, and get the money somewhere else. Like, it can't be that
from
difficult.
the rich people.
Exactly. It's like, you know what you
From all
do
these fucking rich
is you make
people.
car tabs cheap. You make helicopter tabs that have to be renewed every 6 months, and they're $10,000 because fuck them, because the guy working Krispy Kreme doesn't have to worry about that. And someone that's taking their helicopter to Krispy Kreme can afford it, or they can't, and fuck them. So whatever. But it seems so straightforward to me. I've been thinking about it, and I've said it since like episode 1 of this fucking show, where it's like targeted taxes on things like that. We do it as sin taxes already. Why can't we do luxury tax? I mean, it's right there it's in Monopoly, right? It's a luxury tax. It's like you don't pay a bunch of money to renew your tabs. You pay a shitload of money if you're buying a yacht.
If you own a yacht.
Yes. If you own a yacht, if you buy a helicopter, mansion taxes. They do that in New York City. Of course, they need to improve the way that they do that because it was kind of short-sighted. Now, every single piece of real estate in New York City proper is subject to a mansion tax, as far as I know. But it's like stuff like that. And you know what? They try doing that with these real estate excise taxes, and they get shut down by big business, and they more easily propagandize to these people saying, can you believe they're going to raise your taxes? Cost of living is already high enough. I can't believe they're going to raise taxes on real estate. And people don't look into it. The feckless morons, like, anyone that isn't who you're working with, Natalie, these Democrats, no, but these people that are behind a good initiative, like raising excise taxes on these property sales of over $10 million and stuff like that. Like, they don't get the word out properly that it's like, hey, this is a rich person tax. This is the Bill Gates tax. Don't even say Jeff Bezos. This is the Bill Gates tax. Man, it would drive those Republicans wild. They'd all vote for this stuff. And it's like, it just seems so simple to me. And meanwhile, you go to a trade show or a business conference. No, not thumbs up, thumbs down. No, that like the ones that I go to, and they talk about anything that raises those taxes, that are taxes on these rich fucking people. They have some solidarity. They all get together. They talk to their fucking representatives.
They got class solidarity.
They all
right
make
there.
sure to vote on it.
Oh,
they all
100%.
spread the word. There are email chains blasting out to all these poor people that are having trouble renewing the tabs on their 95 Camry, are getting the emails saying, hey, make sure you vote no to raising taxes on real estate, because that would be bad. Make sure you vote no to this gas tax. Oh, you can't get them to stop natural gas and in new developments. You got to be able to have gas. They're going to take your gas stove. That happened here too. It's like, it's just
that's
brutal.
why that ballot initiative
drives
passed.
me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it reminds me of like the whole like the third spaces disappearing. Like when I'm like, where are these rich people talking? Oh yeah, the golf club. Like every fucking golf course in Washington State. And then it's like, okay, so where is everyone else meeting up?
Yeah.
Nowhere really.
And hey, and you know what? And where they're meeting up is being corralled and controlled by those people with all the money. And it gets back to the techno-feudalism that we talked about with R.M. Brown on that episode that I have yet to upload, because it's more fun as a lost episode. It'll be up though. It'll be up. So I still have to work on it a little bit. But yeah, I just remember kind of bringing that up and then trailing off in my head thinking like, oh, I don't really know what I'm talking about though. I just remember this being very interesting. I watched 35-minute video essay about it, then I was like, oh God, I hope Aaron Brown could take the reins on this. But hey, our third space is online, is the online space. Yeah. That's all we got. And we don't own that space. It's not a
great one.
It's not a good space. It's not our space.
Not a good one for having, like, you know, real community.
Oh, no
offense to online friends or anything like that. No. But it's like, you know, it's like different than like hanging out with someone. But there's definitely
no. Just ask the Secretary of State.
Yeah, when he plays D&D with his dork friends, but no offense, a lot of my friends play D&D, you know, I'm joking around, but that's like Prop 1A. That Proposition 1A that just passed here in Seattle, we talked about it a few weeks ago. The mayor of Seattle was really against it, Bruce Harrell. Everybody hates him. I feel like that's a big city thing. It's like everybody hates, no matter who you are, you pretty much hate the
like New York City,
mayor.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know, he's not a leftist at all. So what funds that social housing partially is a tax on people who make more than $1 million a year in income. And I think that seems completely reasonable to raise taxes on someone who makes in income more than $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of fucking money. Even for a place like Seattle. Yeah. You really could pay a little bit more in taxes. You know, and you don't have to have like a mansion on Lake Washington unless you want to live on a tight budget. That's your own prerogative. But $1 million a year is like...
You still can, indeed.
Some of those are, you know, I mean, Bill Gates like lives in some of the like, you know, like really, really, really rich people there. But still, making $1 million in income means you probably have millions in actual wealth too. And if you make that much in income, you just pay more taxes. You pay more taxes, and that's how it goes. You pay more fucking taxes because actually, relatively, you don't pay as much as we do, because exactly what you're saying, because tabs, if I have to spend $75 renewing my tabs and Jeff Bezos has to spend $75 renewing his tabs, I have effectively gone bankrupt, you know, and he's wouldn't even, that's not even close.
And
that's
a penny
not even like a
went
penny
through
to
a
him.
hole, in his pocket, you know.
It went to his couch cushion or something, you know, that he's lost. So
no, a nickel went through, and then 4 pennies, you know, he found or something. It's like, it's less than a penny either way. However you would do it.
That's what I always know, that it's like, you know what? The answer to who's going to pay for this? The people with the money. That's what I'm going to say. That's another song idea I wrote down.
For this?
Yeah. It's like a satire is dead and there's enough to go around. Those are my 2 song ideas right now. Don't steal them. Yeah. There's more than enough to go around and around and around and around.
Okay, Natalie.
But, we have actually some big news, guys. Hey, got some big news right now because we got a New York Post login. We can leave comments.
Everyone is stupid except me.
I'm just trying to find what'll be what'll be the New York Post.
Nothing like a New York slice.
Yeah, of
nothing
course.
Like a New York Post.
That's what it would be. Yeah.
Nothing like a good New York slice.
Hey.
All right. Sorry, I'm going to ask on behalf of the audience. Why haven't you gotten one before?
Because I've been afraid.
Oh.
I've been afraid of what will happen to me as a person who already, you know, gets on Instagram and intentionally goes to argue with people. Yeah, I'm like rage bait. Like I'm like a bitch, you know, I would say like that it's easy for me. I can really just like clap back and just be like super fucking rude.
Yeah.
And
you know what
so,
would be easier, bitch?
You would probably spend your time better just training an AI chatbot to do that for you.
Yeah.
Those are probably just AI chatbots that you're fighting with.
But some of it, it's like a little bit for I want to keep my insult
Gotta
sharp.
keep
You know, I
it-
want to keep
yeah,
those
okay, I like-
pathways
I
in my
like that.
brain.
It's the equivalent
like, you know,
of
ready.
it's like how
Get
when
a tight five.
when I go
Yeah.
and
Tight
I
five,
get
yeah.
gas, you know, and I make sure to do the mental math and I round it off. I'd be like, well, I'll get you know, $28.16 in gas, and then it rounds up to $40 or whatever. And like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I gotta keep that
That's-
sharp.
Keep it sharp, yeah, because this is not about convincing people. You know, people that I'm arguing with, they're not in these comment
convincing
sections for a
yourself.
good faith conversation. It's about, you know, just like doing this, shouting into the void a little bit and yelling at Nazis
Yeah.
often.
We
Yelling
do what
at
we need to
Head-bonked
survive.
individuals.
You know, before we get into this New York Post article, we watched the R.M. Brown program today had a great example of like why you can't talk to people like this, like on the Patty Bet Davis, whatever,
Patrick
PBD
Bet
show.
David.
Yeah,
Peanut
Patrick
butter
Bet
and
David.
deli.
He had someone on his show. They're talking about people that are 350 years old claiming Social Security, and his guest on the show was like, "That's pretty much been debunked." You know, like his guest was like, "There's a lot of fraud in the government, certainly, but this is not." Is like even conservatives have said that that's not what's happening. There's just been like a misunderstanding of, you know, this reporting that they've been doing and stuff. That's just not what's happening, and pretty much PBD just moves on to the next
Yeah.
segment. So it's like this guy literally
He just doesn't
said
address it.
exactly what you'd need to hear by the person you'd need to hear it from. It's not me going on the show calling him an idiot and a racist and a transphobe and a fascist and
Getting
you know a stupid
triggered.
bitch. It's someone it's like someone super calm saying you're right. There's so much government waste. I can't wait till they get into Medicare. I can't wait till they get into the Pentagon. I'm so glad
I
they're
love
doing this.
Doge.
But this has been debunked. I love Doge, but this in particular is just not true. So we shouldn't hyper focus on it because this is not where our focus should be. And he just ignores it, doesn't change his mind. It doesn't matter what you say to these people. They will hold their line regardless of the facts from their own aside. So I don't really,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not about to change any minds. I'm about to hurt some feelings, I hope. So
I just
that's
like-
what I'm here for.
There's nothing
I'm here to hurt,
better
not help.
than finishing an argument on the internet, even if it's like, you know, it's like, well, I mean, there's no way that you won. You're the one, you got ratioed into oblivion. You're in
Sometimes
the
I make
belly of
myself
the
laugh.
beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just laughing. You muted and blocked the person and walked away. But you know for a fact that by what that stupid right-wing nut job was saying, that they went to bed thinking about this conversation about how this leftist just got to them, and they just have been thinking about it. The other things that they wanted to say, it's like, sorry, I've muted you. I haven't been listening for a while. I love it.
I like laughing at my own jokes because I'm a loser like that. I just think sometimes it just like cracks me up. Like
it's because you're funny.
I can't think of one right now, but often it
you know
is
why,
kind
though?
of just like your mom situation. So that's
It's because
or like the
like my-
doctor,
Because you're an honorless,
My
lying little
immaturity.
turd.
That's why.
yeah, or just like the Dr. Phil. Where's the Dr. Phil one? Go kill yourself.
Oh yeah, that's way up on
yeah.
the top of
That's
it.
Natalie.
Oh jeez.
Shut the hell up,
I don't-
bitch. Go kill yourself.
Yeah.
Or
Close.
sit in the middle of the road
There
and
it
let
is.
a car run over you.
That's what you
I
tell
actually
people.
don't say things like that.
You're ugly,
but
you're
I do
disgusting, I'm
say
gonna
you're a
kill you.
bitch and you're stupid and your mom is fat. I say that often, you know, and that your mom's a slut and stuff. Like when people are like talking about OnlyFans and hating on it and stuff, I'm like, yeah, you must hate your mom. I heard she's one of the most popular creators on there.
Oh,
Like,
you're a
stupid,
woman on the
immature
internet. You
bullshit like
have
that.
to go at saying that you fucked
Nobody
their dads.
thinks I'm a woman. Nobody
Ooh,
thinks I'm a
even
woman.
better than you say
People-
you fucked their dads.
People always think I'm a
Assume
guy.
that
They
you're a dude,
always,
yeah.
That happened on Reddit all the time too. When I used to
Mhm.
go and sort by most controversial
and
and
start
go
fighting
fight
with
with people, too.
Classic.
Oh
That's the
my
only way to
gosh.
use Reddit.
Classic. But yeah, I do it in real life too. Someone wants to. I'm never gonna back down from an argument. That's for sure. At work, you know,
Yeah, at
on
work
the
every
street,
day.
You
I
know,
hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
man,
I'm
I got
gonna
into a
once
yelling
again-
fight at work one time at the nuclear plant about this guy saying black people commit more crime, you know, so I got obviously. And then he's a white guy and he was like, I can see you're really offended. I was like, I'm not offended. You're just wrong. You're wrong. I'm just trying to tell you how wrong you are. I'm not offended. I'm just think you're stupid.
I'm going to be offended by you not learning.
I just need you to know that you're an idiot. That's like, the real thing
get
here.
It through your fucking head.
Mm-hmm.
But
you have dog shit where your brain case should be.
Looking like
exactly.
New York
Nothing like a New York Post slice. So, the article I have chosen, we're going to read this together, and we're going to find. I was hoping it would be the first comment, but we sat around and jacked off for too long and just talked.
Can I read it? Can I read it? I want to read out loud.
Yeah, of course. Do you want me to? I'll put the link right here
or
in
share
the chat.
It. Or you share your screen.
I could do that. Actually,
I can put it in the video right now.
Okay, share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how we want this to do, or no?
Yeah, and then so I'll read one sentence, and then Doug reads,
and we'll go one word at a time. If we could do that. Okay. So can you see this?
Yeah.
I cannot.
I mean, I see.
I have to watch the stream, don't I?
Okay. Well, I'll read the title, and then Danae can jump in. And the great thing about the New York Post is actually every single sentence is its own paragraph.
Oh my God! Everyone writes like that.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's beautiful.
I don't really get it either. Okay. So name. Okay, this is by Victor Nava. He is a
Victor
journalist.
He published
for the New York Post.
real late at night too.
So, yeah, he had to get this one out.
Midnight Eastern.
Tech guru admired by Elon Musk estimates over $100 billion in taxpayer money is being wasted or stolen.
Okay.
Take it away, Danae.
How is this an article?
Thank you.
I know. just wait to see what kind of insight this motherfucker has.
So excited. A data scientist with ties to Doge chief Elon Musk declared Monday that she believes over $100 billion in taxpayer dollars are being wasted or stolen by federal employees at government agencies.
Oh, God.
Shall I continue? Yeah, I guess I can.
Yeah.
The tech expert is using artificial intelligence to expose cases of government waste, fraud, and abuse, and goes by Data Republican on X, where her posts are regularly shared by billionaire Tesla and SpaceX founder. Woo, the woman who is deaf said through an interpreter when asked by News Nation.
Woo, she said through an interpreter. LOL, she said.
Woo. Woo. Okay, woo, the woman who is deaf said through an interpreter when asked by News Nation's Brian Enton about how much federal cash she believes is being wasted or stolen based on her efforts poring over public databases. If I had to guess, I would say it's over $100 billion, she said. But what is more important is what they are doing with that money.
Okay. If I had to guess, this is some hard-hitting journalism
like
here. If I had to guess.
This immediately, I think of Matt Walsh on Joe Rogan, where he just asked him, well, how many of these kids have gone on puberty blockers and stuff? He's like, oh, it's probably in the low millions at this point. It's at least hundreds of thousands. And then they just look it up and they're like, well, over the past 4 years, it's just over 4,000.
Like yeah.
Oh, no, that's conservative. It's got to be more than that. It's like, you just fucking made it up. Like, you just won't say different.
Yeah. Yet another case where they just don't even fucking care. It's like, Joe Rogan doesn't care that you were wrong. If you said, well, 4,000 is way too many, he would go along with that too.
Yeah.
But
oh my God, Danae, keep going.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I highlighted it because it's like broken up kind of weird.
Oh, I didn't even see that one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. Actually, I thought it was a caption to the video. The numbers don't lie. Okay, Doug, stop interrupting me.
Sorry, I would say it off
The
mic.
numbers don't lie. The data expert. I love that they keep referring to her as the data expert. Added, and look, They don't always say what I want to hear, but they do tell me the truth. The numbers do not lie to me. Data Republican did not disclose her true identity during the interview because of threats she has received over her closeness with Musk. She described her relationship with the head of President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency as a working one, but noted that she has never communicated directly with Musk. I want to be clear, I don't communicate directly with Elon. He found me and he supports my work, she said. But I have communicated with some people who are involved with Doge, and I don't want to say much more than that, but I have a working relationship. She said she's not even sure how the billionaire found her online. Come on, he just trolls the hashtag. He's always looking for his name.
He's on Twitter 16 hours a day.
He's got Google alerts set up.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, I don't know. You'd have to ask him, she said, of how Musk stumbled upon her X account, which he has encouraged his more than 218 million followers to follow. But I'm grateful, she added, noting that it's been a whirlwind since she started engaging online with Musk. The tech genius explained that her current work involves analyzing connections and relationships between people in the government. If you research people long enough, you start to notice that they're all working together. They're all married. They're all in-laws, she said of her latest
Sounds like Trump.
Data Republican insisted that the evidence of corruption she has uncovered isn't limited to members of just one political party. I cannot tell you enough how much both Republicans and Democrats are involved, she said. It is everywhere. Musk's Doge initiative, which aims to cut, which aims to cut at least a trillion in federal spending. I'm sorry. Claims it's already saved taxpayers about $55 billion by slashing government grants, fighting lost money, downsizing federal agencies, and laying off thousands of government workers.
So by doing a bunch of reckless harm, we saved us nothing. $55 billion? That's nothing.
I personally really like all of the facts that she gave, saying like everybody's like involved.
That's
what I'm just joking. Like about that this data genius. They just go from calling her
Twitter profile
data analyst,
tech
exactly
guru,
amazing.
Data genius.
This is an article in a Alexander Hamilton started this publication. So
oh my gosh. What I really loved about it too was the part where she was talking about how they all know each other. I'm like, I also can do LinkedIn research, honey.
Yeah.
I do that for a job. That's my job.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So these comments are pretty. Okay. APIC orders Congress to send Israel about the same amount of money every year. Where's the outrage? About that. Nice.
About that.
Mm-hmm. Data expert. The government says this. We all know the number is 10 times larger than that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
See.
You just know in your gut.
This was the very first comment. I love her. That's what I wanted to.
You just really get him. It's like, well, she's a guy, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the photo of her, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a translator that's doing it, right? That's not even her.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
She refuses to be named. It's just this Twitter handle.
Yeah. Okay, so that's probably the translator.
And the thing is, the biggest, I don't know about this data Republican or whatever, but what has been very commonplace over the last year or so is all of the big, faceless Twitter accounts, when they become unmasked, they're fucking Nazis. Every time.
Oh.
It's always or at the very least, Jack Posobiec or whatever his name is, who is a Nazi, but it's he runs the End Wokeness account, and it's huge. It's huge. Like all of these guys, Stone Toss got unmasked. All these people, they get complain about doxing or whatever. And that's what this person would be like. Oh, I want to remain anonymous and stuff. It's like, yeah, you're probably just some fucking basement dwelling Nazi piece of shit. That's exactly what it is. You're just hiding behind this like, oh, I'm just about the data. No, you're not. You're an Elon Musk lover who's getting articles in the New York Post, meaningless articles in the New York Post. You're probably as close to a Nazi as you can get. I would put money on it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way that it goes nowadays.
Well, also, like, the part where it's like, oh, she's been like receiving death threats because of her close relationship with Elon, and then she immediately is like, I haven't ever spoken with him directly.
I don't even know how he found me.
Yeah,
I didn't tweet these things directly at him.
Well, she has a giant account. That's it.
But also, like the photo on the article again, like death threats. So is it her or is it someone else? And why isn't it specified? Are we trying to get this woman killed, whoever that is, with the sunglasses?
Who cares?
Like
there are no specifics in this article. No specifics about the person.
None.
No specifics about the numbers. No specifics
what
about
a useless fucking article.
Like what Doge is doing.
I love this.
Public
if I had to guess, I would say it's over 100 billion.
Well, if I had to guess,
why would you be guessing if you're some
say
fucking
it's 15
genius?
trillion.
Like, yeah. So
what do you think about that? Eat. When is Elon Musk gonna call me?
And also, once again, like 100 billion is not a lot.
It's not shit. Like, and even cutting $1 trillion in government spending, it's like you can only cut the fat so far. If, quote unquote, with using their whole reasoning and stuff, it's like you still have to have some money to, like fund like
also,
basic federal functions, things like
sidewalks.
That. Also, there's like a lot of things that the federal
traffic
government
lights
passed by
Congress.
There's
like so it's like you can cut these things back or whatever, but it's like, so what does it mean? Are we still going to pay the same amount of taxes and then you're going to do this stupid fucking New York Post article idea or New York Post comment article idea of using our taxes to pay down the trillions of dollars in debt we owe or something?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what do you even mean?
Like we talked about last time.
It's like, what does that mean with like cutting this wasteful spending or whatever? Also, you didn't cut like it. We already paid for those.
Yeah.
Our money's already gone. It's already been paid.
Yeah.
It's already
and everything.
You
just took people's jobs. That's all. You just cut people's jobs.
Literally, job creating guys, like we should be grateful and sucking the dicks of all these billionaires because we should be so grateful for the jobs they give us. As he goes in and cuts tens
Instead,
of
we have
thousands
a billionaire
of jobs and
come in and like literally strand a family in Senegal because he demolished USAID. And they're like, well, I guess I don't know what we're doing now. We have 2 kids. They're 12 and 14. And now I have no job. Cool. Thanks a lot. We're in Africa. Like, the fuck? Okay, so...
Well, I'm going to leave our first...
we all know the number is 10 times larger than that. We all know your mom is 10 times larger than that.
That's my classic go-to. So I'm going to go ahead and make our mark today on the New York Post.
Okay.
And,
inaugural comment.
Don't quote me on that,
oh, man. It's exactly how mature I try to be online all the time. And that's not at all. But I also just want to say this other article written by Victor Nava, how Elon Musk is saying that, no, actually, well, here's the second email, otherwise you're going to get fired. How like federal workers just didn't comply with like the bullet point list of things that they've done. And so he's like, well, okay, well, you'll get a second chance.
So what
and then
bullet
you're really,
point list? What are you talking about?
Oh, that email that federal workers had to say 5 things that they've done in the last week. To keep their job.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'd be fired. And so the heads of these departments were like, don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. He's not your boss. Yeah. And he doesn't have, like, the FBI is saying no. And
I don't understand that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the
I don't work for
You don't have
Doge.
to do that.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. And
also, so I actually know a little bit about this because I have a friend that works at Hanford, and he was telling me about like some of the responses that. Yeah. So one of the emails I think was basically never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna say goodbye.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. And then the other thing was that everyone was just saying like, hey, like let's just sign this email address up for as many newsletters as possible.
Exactly.
So,
we were talking about that this morning.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, PSA for anyone that doesn't know, that email address is totally publicly available. Anyone can send emails to it. You can tell Elon Musk, what is it? The PMO? What it's
OPM, the Office of Personnel Management.
The OPM.
It's like HR@opm.gov, I think.
And you can let him know what you accomplished over the last week. You can flood that inbox as much as you can, as much as you want. It's a free country.
Totally, and it's an email address that works, so I can do whatever I want. But I do want to read. I sent this
because
to
you know what?
Our group,
politics,
our family group chat. Exactly. The largest federal employee union. The president issued a statement on this. Elon Musk saying, you guys have to send this email. So the president of this union that oversees, it's like 800,000 workers that are a part of this union. It's gigantic.
The Federal Workers Union?
And yeah, he's like, once again, Elon Musk and the Trump administration have shown their utter disdain for federal employees and the critical services they provide to the American people. It is cruel and disrespectful to hundreds of thousands of veterans who are wearing their second uniform in the civil service to be forced to justify their job duties to this out-of-touch, privileged, unelected billionaire who has never performed one single hour of honest public service in his life. Woo! So I like that. I was like,
what?
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
I'm just an ordinary blue-collar slob, but I know what I likes on TV.
The American government is about to get sued to fucking oblivion by, they're saying that any wrongful terminations and these kinds of things, whatever this is, the American Federation of Government Employees will challenge any unlawful terminations of our members and federal employees across the country.
Yeah.
So any of these things where people actually get fired, it's like, you want to save us spending and make us more efficient? How about you don't tie up the government in all these fucking lawsuits because you did something illegal?
The NLRB is not on Elon Musk's side and has not been ever. And it's like, I mean, that's, a whole Project 2025 workaround thing that they probably have been doing or should be doing if they want to get away with all this shit, is even more cuts to the NLRB like they've been doing, and more what would you call it, just weakening of it. But because it's like, because all this stuff, I mean, it was already pretty weak to begin with. Labor doesn't get a fair shake in this country at all. But it's like, yeah, you're breaking so many just written rules, like regulations set in stone.
You're not a fucking CEO.
I think they sometimes forget that there's like a separation of the executive and the judicial branches or something. Like
they're trying to
the congressional,
make that not so.
And the congressional, it's like, you guys are not above those.
And this isn't a business, and you're not the CEO. You can't just do whatever you want. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just require this.
Even if
you can't just suddenly say this is the policy. Like,
and even if you could, you're a crappy CEO. You'd run this country into the fucking ground.
Which he does with his businesses. But I would like to say, so he was saying, if you don't respond, so this was sent out Saturday for one thing, which it's like, fuck you, I'm not working. But you had until Monday at 11:59 p.m. to say it. Or if you didn't respond, that was going to be treated as a resignation, which is like, pretty sure that's not how that works.
It's not.
But now he's saying, he's like, oh, actually, that was voluntary. And, that's not going to be taken as a resignation if you didn't respond. He said, the email request was utterly trivial, as the standard for passing the test was to type some words and press send, Musk wrote on X. Yet so many failed even that inane test, urged on in some cases by their managers. The inane test. Oh my gosh. He mentioned us by name. By inane.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you name dropped us. That's crazy.
Consider yourself owned.
He inane dropped us.
That was a really nice one. Thanks, inane blather.
They will be given a second chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. And this is what it's been interesting how quiet Donald Trump has been, honestly. I feel like he's really kind of been, I don't know if he's just watching TV or whatever. I just don't, Elon is just really taking the limelight, but
he's golfing.
Trump,
he's golfing
Trump
every weekend.
I thought it was great because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. The president told reporters at the Oval Office. What he's doing is saying, are you actually working? Like what I'm saying is people don't even know. It's no, they do. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what people do because you don't know shit about the government.
And also, once again,
they do.
We don't have to tell you, Elon Musk. We don't work for you.
You're not my boss.
And it's and even if you want to go with this whole amorphous, oh, you're a public servant, you work for the federal government, you work for the American people, the taxpayers pay your salary, we still don't work for you, Elon Musk. And in that case, hey, if you want to make everything transparent, then you can see if these people are working. Just look, their contracts are easily available. If they're contracted to work, that's that. Call it a day. Go home. Fuck off. Go pretend to play Diablo. Go hire someone to play Diablo for you, as you are wont to do.
Which you can, because you're a billionaire and you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
But,
go have your 13th fucking child now, if you've heard of that.
Yeah. I think this is an interesting comment to me, because it's damn, this guy was a teacher and he's just saying how, this comment says, I find it frustrating that they struggle to understand or accomplish this task. And it's whatever, you're obviously missing the fucking point here. And then some of them, I regrettably admit, may be former students of mine. Do I have to read all that? A short paragraph of instruction. I don't get it, or anything. My mom's texting me. It's you're talking about your students, not understanding thing. You're calling your students stupid, and you're a teacher? Cool, bro. Yeah, that's cool. What you were called to this. I can see why you wanted to be a teacher, because you really wanted to teach people things, not just make fun of kids who didn't understand what you're trying to teach them. Fucking loser. See, this is why it's going to be dangerous for me, because I'm just going to be popping off in these comments, be you're a fucking asshole. I hope if my kid was one of your students, I'd kill them so they wouldn't have to take your class. That's something I would say.
I would drown them in a fucking bathtub.
Yeah.
And say it was your fault. Oh, man.
Did you guys
I saw
see
that
this?
AI video.
I literally just shared it in the chat.
Yeah. No, that's what I clicked on. That's what
disgusting.
I saw that Umberto showed that to me today, and I was like, so these tech nerd geniuses couldn't figure out how to get that off. They just had to unplug the TV.
Oh, I didn't hear that. No, I just saw the AI video. What happened? So for people that don't watch,
my gosh!
For people that don't watch
the
YouTube video, what are we looking at here?
This is amazing. So, the title of this: hackers play AI video of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet on cafeteria screens at HUD. Housing and Urban Development Headquarters. Long live the real king. It's a disgusting AI video of Donald Trump kissing two left feet of Elon Musk. And it says, long live the real king. And it was all over all of the screens in the Housing and Urban Development office. And they couldn't figure it out. They just had to unplug the TVs.
If you can't figure out how to
get in and undo it.
Off.
And which is so funny, because it's how is this guy a genius again? This tech genius hacker, cool coding, blah, 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 blah. And he couldn't figure out. And how did this happen? It came from within your own system, and you guys couldn't figure that out, you geniuses. Yeah, right.
I don't think
it
Elon
was-
really cared. I don't think Elon would have cared at all.
Oh, yeah.
He probably would have been like,
Elon's like,
That's
gosh,
true. And there's no way
geez, I
Trump
can't
could
get
figure
it
that
turned off. It's all turned on.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that also Elon Musk said that
God,
the American
don't show
people
it. It's so gross.
believe
I saw it.
Here
I
we
saw it
go.
over
There we
and
go.
over again on Twitter.
That the American people really believe in what he's doing and Doge is doing, and he knows that he has majority support because he put out a poll on Twitter.
Oh my
and
God.
Twitter said it. So,
Yeah,
and people are
my
like,
my mom said something similar to that about CNN. Like what Elon and Trump are doing is supported by the poll that was done by CNN. So, I was
Well,
like, I wonder who's actually filling that poll out on watching CNN. Interesting.
Trump's favorability is higher than it's ever been. I mean, it is
for
quite
sure.
sickening how many people are behind it, but it's nothing like what happens on Twitter. Like, it is insane. Like, we talk about getting in flame wars. Remember you're still streaming, Natalie, and you're on video, okay? So
I don't have anything to worry about on this.
but anytime I go in and I wade into the waters of Elon Musk's replies and stuff like that, anything Elon Musk related, it is wild. It's just pure delusion. I mean, it's come a long way. He has really curated the site. Oh God, he looks like such a fucking dork. He's really curated the site since that initial Twitter poll a couple years ago, where he asked if he should step down as the leader of Twitter, and with like however many hundreds of thousands of votes, people said yes, step down. And who knows what happened with that? He appointed some fucking no-name CEO and continued running Twitter, of course, because he will not. He says, "I will abide by the results of this poll." No, he didn't. Who fucking cares? He just went with a technicality. But
I mean, does he actually do anything other than like maybe telling the
Make
developers
money?
to make his tweets
oh yeah, no, I mean,
rank higher? I
he
don't know.
does, and you can tell. It's like, because Twitter is horrible. Every new thing is a bad idea, and they're all Elon Musk's ideas, including, for one thing, making sure that all of his stuff is artificially inflated in the algorithm. He got so upset when like Joe Biden had more exposure than he did, that then they changed it so that he would always be the top guy in the algorithm. And then, getting rid of viewable likes. That's been gone for a long time. He completely destroyed the entire idea of communities on Twitter. That was just like a month ago. Every single change has been for the worse. It's like he's trying to ruin this fucking app. And no matter what, there will be thousands of soy boy cuck losers saying, Elon is just
Soy boys in a
so
bad way.
smart. He is making the
I don't like
best
that.
decisions ever. I just can't. Another slam dunk. It's like just these guys that need to be permanently shoved into a locker in Silicon Valley and then just skated down the whatever those hills are in San Francisco that just like go at like the movie Bullet with Steve McQueen. You know, all of these guys, they're just all over the website now. And not only that,
losers.
He makes all these changes and the bots just get worse and worse and worse. Every single tweet that I make, I immediately get at least 1 or 2 likes from a sex bot. Every time.
Slovenian sex bot.
I did, complete tangent. I wanted to get your opinion. I thought it was kind of funny. Silver linings. Okay. I was like, it's kind of funny. Now with the advent, I'm always against like AI image generation and stuff like that. Whatever. With the advent of this, it is kind of funny that now, since, these phishing accounts, click here for hot photos, virus.ru, whatever it's going to be, and there's a picture of a hot woman in a bikini or whatever. Now they're all AI women. It's obvious, it's instant, and there's millions of them across the internet. But now it means that they're no longer just taking women's photos off the internet and using them for their own.
That's true.
And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, they're just using women's photos that are already out there.
They're just using
and
millions of
them,
women's photos, but still, they're not just directly taking them from someone else's Twitter.
That is nice.
Or from someone else's OnlyFans profile picture.
Revenge porn.
Yeah, or from revenge porn,
Yeah.
And saying,
not like
click here.
impersonating.
I was like, well, that's nice.
Although I have seen some like headlines that have recently, I saw like a headline that had to do with like, there's been a pretty big rise in like making AI porn with like people's
deep
faces.
fakes.
Like,
yeah,
which is well, deep fakes, but like it was like I don't know. It was just more recent, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Well, I wonder. Well, I mean, yeah, just the technology is getting better, and
give me some
deep
royalties,
fakes were already pretty bad, even just a couple years ago, and it's disgusting what people do. They just take people, non-consenting people, and make pornography out of them. It's horrific.
Like, why can't we go back to the good old days when people just like drew shitty anime or something?
And there's like plenty of porn out there, guys. There's
DeviantArt.
like so much fucking consensual porn.
Yes.
There's like so much consensual
people
porn
make porn
out there.
and put it out there for free.
Much porn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Straight up.
People post shit. I mean, it's like, so just credit them. Be like, I found this on Reddit or whatever.
Out.
That's hot. But, but yeah, I will, just to circle back really quick, Danae, tell your mom she's fucking wrong because
I can't.
Obviously,
we
says
have a truce.
only 28% of people believe Musk's role in the government is a good thing, and that's according to a poll from CNN.
Okay.
So less than 30% of people.
She said 70%, so she
literally
got
the opposite.
kind of right.
Exactly
I
wrong.
think she just
Yeah.
like switched up the numbers
to fit her
to make
narrative. Sure. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so it's
and
an
apparently
honest mistake.
So she educated me on the fact that the Nazi salute, the Hitler salute that Elon did on the inauguration stage was actually, it used to be an American salute.
That is true.
Back when we liked the Nazis.
That's really what it was.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's how people used to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well,
it used to be a salute for a lot of places, and you'll still see it as a salute in other places that aren't as Eurocentric and stuff.
Right.
Because it's.
But we are Eurocentric, and the Nazis used it, and that's what people are like. Okay, so go do it at your job.
Yeah,
go be like, hey guys, hi guys, how the hell are you?
Cool tidbit.
Hey,
okay, so what?
It's like, and you know what? The swastika is actually like an ancient Buddhist symbol. So why don't you put a bumper sticker on your fucking car and see how that goes for you?
Namaste,
you want to be like
bitch.
pretty proud of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Buddhist swastika faces the other way though. So
yeah, it does.
People wouldn't know that. Though.
Well, some people know, and those are the people you don't want.
Yeah, if someone corrects me on that, it's like red flag.
Hey, buddy,
red flag
what
with a swastika on it.
Buddhism? Get the shit off of here.
Yeah.
You're like, oh boy.
Go, rather.
Yeah. The what's funny and all this talk about Elon is the all of the Cybertrucks that are getting vandalized in Manhattan. And from the looks of it, I think someone
with a bunch of Buddhist symbols.
Yes, with a big Buddhist symbol on one of them, and one was getting another one getting egged repeatedly, and wrote Nazi on it and spray paint and stuff. And then when I saw, because I mean, just so many people, at least in my Twitter feed, live in Brooklyn and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, what's funny is that this is like one guy. It's happened like 3 times to him because he's an idiot and he just had to own a Cybertruck and he parks it on the fucking street like a moron. And this has happened to him more than once now. And it's like, get rid of your car, dude.
I like that.
You're making a decision.
Spot in a parking garage.
Like, even if you were driving a Model Y, it doesn't happen to a Model Y or a Model C or something like that because it's not the Elon car. It's a Tesla. It's not the Elon mobile. The Cybertruck is a huge eyesore and a thing that says, I love Elon Musk. Because, and I have this argument with people on Twitter every day because I say, hey, you little wormy nerd, I drive pickup trucks and I always have, okay? That thing, if you're not getting it for a pickup truck, because for a pickup truck, that thing sucks. It sucks. You're not spending $90,000 on that thing so that you can't haul a 6-foot fucking folding table, okay? If you're going to spend $90,000 on a truck, there are way better trucks that you can get easily, you know? And it's like, so you're buying the truck because you think it's cool and Elon's cool and you think you're cool for driving it. It's not for utility. It's not for anything. It is a statement piece. That's it. And it's like, so.
And the statement is, I'm
yeah, and now the statement is,
a douchebag.
You don't care about the fact that you're associating with a Nazi. That's like, even if you don't agree with the whole Nazi thing, stupidly, the guy who is single-handedly like trying to ruin the U.S. government, the richest man on earth, inserting himself into our affairs. All right, he's a bad
and the Nazis.
He's a
love
bad
him,
guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. The Nazis love him. He stinks on ice, so your shit's gonna get egged. All right. You know what? I drive a pickup truck. Doesn't get egged. All right, it doesn't. And I'm glad it doesn't because I wash my truck like once a year. Okay.
Neither does my Mini Cooper. That's a fucking BMW, which is a legit Nazi car.
Yeah. So. And you used to drive a Volkswagen, you know?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Never got egged.
Like, I used to drive my Volkswagen in my Hugo Boss suit, going around
wearing my Doc Martens.
Yeah, with the Buddhist symbol on the back, just giving the Roman salute to tell everyone hello. Say, hey, this is just giving the Pledge of Allegiance. And not a single egging.
As soon as I got a Cybertruck.
As soon as I got a Cybertruck, everyone started flipping me off. I got a swastika spray painted on it, you know. But, well, we should probably wrap it up.
Let's shout it out to a Krista.
Shout out to Krista. Shout out to Amanda, another new listener.
And Amanda. Sorry.
Yeah.
What was the other one? It was just
we probably just have two new listeners.
The only 2 listeners we have.
Yeah. two current listeners.
Since Nate doesn't listen anymore.
I don't.
Shout out to R.M. Brown, our Lord and Savior.
I don't want to listen to myself.
And Krista and Amanda.
Shout out to R.M. Brown.
And everyone else.
Starting a book club.
Other people do listen, and I do appreciate it. And
thanks for listening. And we should have Discontent Provider on at some point. I think is the person that.
Shout out to Discontent Provider. And we'll close with this. Speaking of cars and everything.
12 hours a day. Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common this when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be a communist country.
Yeah. So
you can't.
Pretty soon we're going to be a communist
kids can't
country.
Smoke cigarettes anymore. Yeah,
it's incredible.
I love how she's saying that with like a small child in the seat next to her. That's great. Okay. Well, love you guys.
We
awesome.
Love you.
All right then. Well,
whoops.
See you later. Bitches leave.
I know. I love how both of those people sound kind of similar.
Bitches leave.
Okay.
Like exactly like
Slice.
All right, bye.
Nothing like a New York slice. Bye.